You are in for an interesting ride.
Okay. Hello and welcome to another episode of the ET Newsroom. Today I'm going to be speaking with Peter Vincent, our remote viewer and dowsing detective, and he suggested that it might be a good idea to look at what might constitute evidence using the system he uses. So these colours and numerical codes that go together or can be used separately do seem to have an incredible degree of accuracy. But not a lot of people really put much store by them because I guess the system seems a little arcane, though dowsing itself has been used for very many years, probably hundreds. So we're going to be having a look at things like missing people, even missing dead kings of ancient times. We'll be having a look at the strange disappearance of flight MH370 in 2014. We'll be looking at a variety of things, including, I might say, a very, very strange event that happened to Bill Brooks, who experienced some weird, bizarre link with Fred West, as in Fred and Rosemary West, the serial killers. And what he experienced and reported was very interesting. And Peter has some comment about that. So we'll be hearing about this. And for those folks who don't know about this book, it's the most amazing story. It took me nearly 3.5 years to get this story written because it was painful, it was traumatic, and it was also so off the wall, so out there, that Mike Smith just thought that the secret he'd kept virtually to himself for the 20 years since he had a download showing him that he'd been taken all his life, and that happened in 1994, the download, that people would just think he was crazy. So anyway, folks, let's get on with our episode and let me know what you think in the comments. And for those of you who are used to seeing me producing work quite regularly, I shall be taking more or less a break, a hiatus in my interviewing work. And whilst you may see me post comments and links to things that I've already done or am working on, I'm going to be focusing on getting eclectia out there in the world in a meaningful way. In the meantime, please do enjoy this episode of The Dowsing Detective, looking at the evidence. Certainly you want to strap yourselves in for some of these mind-bending conclusions that are arrived at with Peter. Maybe it will inspire you to try using the system he uses. Okay, folks, enjoy. Hello, everybody, and this is the ET Newsroom here with Peter Vincent, our dowsing detective. And Peter thought it would be really helpful, and so do I, if we did a little rundown of evidence that Peter has highlighted in some of the videos that are already there. But we thought we'd do this video simply about the evidence for the Sunday, 8th of April 2024.
Well, hello everybody again. As you know, we've been doing a series of films on YouTube called The Dowsing Detective, showing the discovery of the system, how colour works on the mind sensory code. So basically, we can look at a photograph and determine whether the person is alive or dead with the colour codes we use, which are set colour codes for male and female, or cremation for burial. There are also other codes for death by volcanic action, stonified, we call stonified human remains. So we pick up on specific cases of interest to test out these findings, and we work with other remote viewers as well. So what we do is we code a person as to whether they're alive or dead. If they're alive and they're supposed to be dead, we then code them fully into something that you could say is rather like a DNA code. So you have the person's sex code on the top, which is pink, white and silver for a female, no silver for a male. And if they're dead, then it's black and yellow added at the end. And the bit in the middle is their unique little band of colours. So immediately, if you've got 7 billion people in the world population, you can cut that in half straight away just by putting, if it's a female you're looking at, just by simply having the pink, white and silver at the top. That splits them off from the pink and white. This is rather like the barcodes on products that you buy. There are multiple millions of variations you can have of these colours and these numbers, and we could, I know, extend the colours quite considerably, but it would make life extremely difficult. So first of all, we ask the colours of a person, and then we put those into the numbers, which is a zip code left to right, which is also called radionics, or we hold them in a colour barcode, something similar to this, which is the male burial code, pink, white, black and yellow, and we hold them top down in our hand like that. Now you can see all the demonstrations in the other films on the etnewsroom.com YouTube films, Grove 1, Grove 2, The Mound, all sorts of different subject matters, and please do refer to those as we go through with this case. Now, as you all know, an airliner disappeared many years ago called MH370, and there's been an awful lot of discussions and conspiracy theories. We made a bombshell discovery only a few weeks ago because we hadn't done this before. And I want to show you how this system works first, to show you the evidence with a person who's been missing and we have found and reported, and an archaeological item that Joe and I and Joanne did not realise had already been examined. A large article in the Daily Mail stating that it was thought that King Henry I was buried in a car park in Reading next to an old disused jail. We thought that's just the sort of thing we'd like to have a go at.
And that's only just been discovered in
during last year, 23. The first thing I did is go on Google Earth and look for a car park next to a jail. So that cut it down quite a bit. So I got this car park up. Then they published a painting, Henry I, in the press, which I will show you now. This is the image that they published. And this is the professor who's looking at it, Philippa Langley. Unbeknown to her, did a bit of work on Richard III. We were asked to look at a car park, not knowing anything about it at all. Could we find any burials under the car park? Well, we did, and we found it near the building. We all sent our reports in. The next thing we hear about is a lost king's been found in a car park. So whether it was something to do with her organisation that did it, we don't know. And we were all correct, obviously. So when this came up, we thought, well, we'll have a look at that. Having coded that photograph into Henry I's code, so there's his pink and white as a male, there's purple for a royal colour, here's gold as a royal colour, and there's the black and yellow, which shows that he's dead, and all these other colours just actually add to the response. There is the radionics equal to that, 13, 7, 1, 9, 4, 2, 5, 11, which is gold, 10 and 5. So having got that, we go over the Google Earth maps, and bingo, we found burials down here, males. This is the Reading jail area here, the Reading motorway here, and this is the car park. Not knowing anything about this whatsoever, that's all we were looking at. And we got these male burials down here, and a female burial here, a male burial quite close, responding to this code. And what I'm going to do is to see if I can just demonstrate to you, because these photographs hold the magnetic images of whatever's in the ground, and that's what these codes do. So we work over photographs, you see. So if I come here, the rods just want to cross over that image because that value there is caught magnetically in that image there. I reported this to the archaeology department of Reading County Council, and I had one or two communications with them about this, what we found, and this confirmed other people's findings. And to cut a long story short, we discovered that there'd already been a ground radar survey done of that car park, and here it is, showing exactly the position that we'd found at the end of that car park, the angle there, at that very target point. So that is where the lost king and his wife is buried, under the car park, that this had been down on ground radar, where the angle comes down to the building and then the division wall to the old abbey there, and the car park being down here. We're showing you this for evidence, basically, that there is the angle at the bottom there of the car park here. That's where we found the responses there to that code, unbeknown that this had already been done. So we just said we can confirm that this is actually the burial spot for King Henry I and his wife. And hopefully they will do an archaeological dig. I then found that a channel TV programme was already doing the groundwork for this. But what I'm trying to say is that this is evidence of the system that we use. And other people can do this. I can give these colours to anybody else and they can use them. The difficulty is them getting the colours. That is where the secret is. But other archaeologists can work with these colours. That's somebody who's dead.